Hello, welcome back. You wouldn't believe it if I told you, but I already recorded this video. I did the whole voiceover and everything, and whenever I got to the end and went to edit, realized that I did not record any audio. So, here we go again. I was told that my regression modeling didn't teach people regression modeling. It didn't show you how to code, uh, how the model was related. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and run this. This is the code. How did I get the code? I typed it into ChatGPT that I wanted to get a code that had a regression model. So we're going to go ahead and get our CSV weather stats. This just has two columns, one for X, one for Y. Oh, that's not true. This has all of our weather data. That's why I can pick pressure, wind, all that. Our wind data is not very valuable because we don't have the wind direction. But for pressure, we're going to want to look at 1019.5. That's our sweet spot with those bands at 8.7 and 9.1 runs, because that's typically where the runs per game line is set. So our R squared is at a 0.022, which means that it's not very uh, correlated. You can see there's just a big blob of dots around the axis. Um, Overall, whenever the pressure is low, the runs seem to be a little higher, and whenever the pressure is high, runs seem to be lower, especially at that extreme point beyond the yellow dotted dashed line and under the purple dashed line. Purple dash, green dash is about where the lines are set, so anything under green is most definitely a win for the under. Anything over purple is most definitely a win for the over, and the dots in between could be for either one. We don't typically want to bet whenever the game's going to be this close, because so many different factors can cause a slight difference and throw everything off. It's the butterfly effect. So we're going to stick in this bottom right corner. This is where we really want to look. You see the overall line, red line is going from up down as we go left to right, and it leads us right into that box. That's our money box. That's where we're going to be making money. We did want to see all these extremes down, well, you did see down at the bottom and across the top. There's some outliers. We would love to be able to figure out where these lay in, but it's not within pressure, obviously, because those extremes are at the same place as the majority of our dots on our pressure scale. All right, now we come back in here and we run our other program. So this is the one that's going to tell us whether we should bet under or just relax for the day. Right now it's printing out the weather times that are nearest to the game times. In the big block of chunk, we got the actual game times. So we can see the bottom two there. It's getting the weather data from 4:16:24 at 1 Zulu. The game is actually at 4:16:24 at 2:10 Zulu. But that makes sense that that's the closest hour. Same for the ones at 1, same for the one at 0. So those are all coming from the same time time area. Time area. Time. Okay. So we can see for each city we have the time, the pressure, the percent cloud coverage, the temperature, and then the city name. Let's check right here in Seattle, because that's looking like a banger of an under, unless anybody knows a reason that it might go over. I'm sure that 1026, that's some heavy pressure. 100% cloud coverage. That means that the players will be able to see just fine. The sun won't be in their eyes. And 44 degrees Fahrenheit at start time. That's a cold night. This all points to under for that. That's a big time under for that game. Everything else, the 10.1, 7.13 pressure, that's close to under for me. We actually look at anything at 10, 19.5 and over, but that's pretty close on the scale. Cloud coverage is at 26%. That would lean towards an over, and the average temperature at 61.21. We look at anything under 55. So for Seattle at 44, that's perfect. Oakland also looks like another under. Now let me show you what else we got here. We can also look at, well, we'll look at our pressure again. Let me just show you what we did and the score. So we're predicting scores that are either going to be way over or way under, well, way under, hopefully under, uh, about 9 runs per game. So we set our Y bands to 8.7 and 9.1, and then our X band we're setting to 10, 17.13, which is our current average. We can see our yellow intercept with our green intercept and the red intercept, all on that bottom half. That's about 8.72, which falls in our under. We can see that there's a lot more dots under that than on top of that. So pretty confident with a under day today. We can also check our cloud coverage. Cloud coverage is at 26.07%. So we'll put that into our X line at 0.2607 and run that regression. Correlations of 0.009, very correlated. Our red line isn't as slanted as our previous one for pressure. And we can see where our yellow intercept is. This is where we're sitting, and our red and the yellow right up about the top on the purple. Our distribution around that point, pretty similar above and below. Probably going to give the nod to above though, and say that there's more runs scored typically whenever the cloud coverage is at a 26.07%. Now we will look at our temperature. Temperature is interesting here. What we want to look at is our 61.21 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll run that regression. We'll see that from low to high, there's less runs scored whenever it's colder. Say right at that 61.21 mark. Still probably favoring the under at that point as it's cold. But like we were looking at Seattle that was at 44 degrees, and Oakland that was at, I don't remember how many degrees, but the pressure was also good for the under. Somebody I was talking to recently, well, just today, said that one of the players for the Brewers is out. Don't remember who that was, but it just verifies that the Brewers game is probably going under. Again, if you know a reason that the Oakland game won't go under, let me know. Otherwise, we're probably going under on that game as well. So if there's anything that you wasn't answered by this video, we'll cover it in another one. I'll have my wife teach a class since I'm not really teaching. I'm just helping out and doing some fun stuff. All right. Thank you for joining me, and be safe, wise. If you liked what you saw, press the like button below. Go ahead and hit subscribe if you want to build some stuff, and see you on the flip side.